The room was quiet. Too quiet. The only sound was the faint hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen and the occasional rustle of curtains as the breeze slipped through the open window. I sat on the edge of my couch, my laptop balanced precariously on my knees, staring at the screen in disbelief. My heart was pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears, a frantic rhythm that made it hard to think. The DNA test results glared back at me, each word burning into my brain like a brand. No genetic matches found with known relatives. I blinked, as if that would somehow change the words. I'd taken the test on a whim, mostly because my coworkers were all doing it and I thought it would be fun to see where my ancestors came from. I wasn't expecting anything life-altering. My parents had always told me I was Irish and German, a mix of their ancestry. But this couldn't be right. I refreshed the page, hoping it was some kind of glitch. The results didn't change. My hands shook as I clicked on the details, scrolling through the information. There were distant cousins listed, people I'd never heard of, but nothing close. No parents, no siblings, nothing that connected me to the family I'd known my entire life. Panic clawed at my chest. I grabbed my phone and dialed my mother's number, my fingers fumbling over the buttons. She answered on the third ring, her voice warm and familiar. "Hi, sweetie, what's up?" "Mom," I said, my voice trembling. "I need to ask you something." "Of course, honey, what is it?" I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. I took a DNA test, and it says I don't have any genetic matches with you or Dad. The silence was deafening. I could hear her breathing, shallow and uneven, but she didn't speak. "Mom," I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. "What's going on?" She sighed, a heavy sound that seemed to carry the weight of years. "Honey, we need to talk. Can you come over?" Her words sent a chill down my spine. "What do you mean? Just tell me now." "It's not something I can explain over the phone," she said, cracking. "Please, just come over." I hung up, my mind racing. My hands were still shaking as I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. The drive to my parents' house was a blur, my thoughts spinning in 1,000 different directions. What wasn't she telling me? Why couldn't she just explain over the phone? When I pulled into the driveway, my mother was waiting on the porch, her arms wrapped tightly around herself. She looked pale, her eyes red-rimmed as if she'd been crying. "What's going on?" I demanded as soon as I stepped out of the car. She hesitated, then took a deep breath. "Honey, there's something we never told you, something we thought we'd take to the grave." My stomach twisted. "What are you talking about?" She reached out, taking my hand in hers. You weren't born to us. We didn't adopt you either." I stared at her, my heart pounding. "What do you mean?" Her voice broke as she whispered the words that shattered my world. "You were kidnapped." Before I tell you what happened next, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us grow. Now, back to the story. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. My knees buckled and I stumbled back, gripping the porch railing for support. My mother, or the woman I'd always called my mother, reached out to steady me, but I jerked away, shaking my head in disbelief. "No," I whispered, my voice hoarse. "That's not possible. You're lying." Her eyes filled with tears and she shook her head slowly. "I wish I were, honey. I wish I could tell you this was all some horrible mistake, but it's the truth." My mind raced, trying to piece together the fragments of my life. My childhood had been normal, happy even. My parents, no, these people, had been loving, supportive, everything a child could ask for. How could this be real? "You're telling me you kidnapped me?" I said, my voice rising. "You stole me from my real parents?" She flinched, as if I'd struck her. "It wasn't like that," she said quickly. We didn't plan it. We didn't even know at first." "What are you talking about?" I snapped, tears streaming down my face. "How do you not know you kidnapped a child?" She hesitated, twisting her hands together. "It's complicated. We thought we were doing the right thing. There was a woman we trusted, and she said you were an orphan, that your parents had died in a car accident. She said you needed a home, and we wanted a baby so badly. We thought it was fate." I stared at her, my heart breaking with every word. "You just took me?" She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "We didn't know, honey, not at first. But as time went on, we started to suspect. Things didn't add up. The woman disappeared and there was no paperwork, no records. But by then, we couldn't let you go. You were ours. We loved you too much." My stomach churned, a wave of nausea crashing over me. I felt like I was drowning, gasping for air in a sea of lies and betrayal. "All this time, you knew? You knew, and you never told me." She looked down, her shoulders shaking. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I stood there frozen, my mind spinning. A million questions burned in my chest, but one rose above the rest, louder and more urgent than the others. "Who am I?" I whispered. She looked up, her eyes filled with guilt and sorrow. "We don't know," she admitted. "We tried to find out, but we couldn't. There were no leads, no clues. We don't know where you came from." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I felt like I was shattering, pieces of myself crumbling away, leaving nothing but emptiness. I turned and ran, my feet carrying me to my car before I could think. I needed to be anywhere but here, away from the woman who had lied to me my entire life. As I drove, my hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My mind was a whirlwind of anger, confusion, and pain. Who am I? Where did I come from? And how could I ever trust anyone again? The answers were out there somewhere, hidden in the shadows of a past I didn't know existed. And I was determined to find them, no matter what it took.